So the opening is, in my opinion, and I don't mean to shit on this from the jump, but it's kind of weak sauce, right? It's very reminiscent of Scream 2022, you know, even to the point that you have like the patio lights going on with the pool, like when you have Jenna Ortega crawling across the floor and you have your big reveal of the killer. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I hope the whole movie's not that way, but, you know, I kept watching it and I started doing the research for it and I was like, oh, directed from the writer of Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay. But the opening scene, we have these two people, this boyfriend girlfriend, and she's just like, you know, I'm really stressed out, and he's like, why don't you go upstairs and take a bubble bath, do that guided meditation that you like so much, and I'll just kind of hang out down here by myself. From the jump, I can't tell you how much I dislike this whole vegan, meditative, Gen Z, whatever this is, should not be kicking off your trailer. But I will say this about the opening: the fisherman, the spear gun was pretty tight. Like I'm sure we've seen this before. It's not realistic, but the fact that it went into the guy and it pulled him out slowly. All right. That's kind of cool. So in the second minute of the trailer, I noticed a lot of shot-for-shot scenes that were basically taken from the original movie, right? Once again, it's a car accident. Once again, they get a note. You know, you have a character pulling up the rope as they're going up on an elevator shaft, and somebody's swiping with a sword or a knife or a hook. You got the scene where the character's in the shower, which is just like Ryan Phillippe, who was in the shower. Even the character that's like, man, I really need a drink. Ryan Phillippe's character was a drunk, if you remember.
This is nothing. I know what you did last summer. Ooh.
So the next real scene that's matters, you have like a town meeting. It's like straight out of the movie Jaws. All the people are upset. We gotta do something. There's a killer on the loose, right? And Freddie Prinze Jr. shows up like Quint. You know, he's giving me Quint vibes because he's a fisherman. He's like, for 10, you get the head, you get the tail, you get the whole shebang, right? And he's like, you gotta do something about this. It won't stop. And I'm like, all right, I mean, sure. They're not gonna believe that, but okay. Evil dies tonight. The nostalgia bait is so heavy, man. But the next shot, we got Ryan Phillippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar's graves. They got the exact photo from that movie of her wearing the tiara because she won, like, whatever. Okay. Now, this shot right here I found pretty interesting because it looks like this is going to be like your red herring, right? It looks like a religious figure of some type, some Joel Osteen guy who maybe went crazy. Maybe he's the killer. You got a bunch of cops coming in. But if you've ever seen any slasher movie ever, you pretty much know that no squad of police are ever going to stop or solve the mystery. This is going to be like the throwaway, right? This is going to be the scene where they probably find somebody who's guilty of something. They connect him to the murders. They close in. He's probably going to be saying some crazy-ass stuff, and then they arrest him, and then there's going to be another kill, and they'll be like, oh, you fingered the wrong guy, Sydney. And it's going to be back to the drawing board again, because as we've all learned, cops are completely useless in horror movies, and I don't think this is going to be any exception. You know, from there we get like a little bit of a montage of some action, a body drops down, somebody's getting dragged across, which again, kind of gave me a little bit of a nod to Johnny Galecki's character in the original movie. He gets right under the chin and gets pulled over the fryers. Again, copy-paste, but fine. And then we've got like our big Sidney Prescott entrance, right? The old legacy character who's going to be the mentor and the guide who can help them out, solve the mystery of the past, because the past is not done with them. They need her. And she looks good, man. I don't know how old Jennifer Love Hewitt is, but she's still got it. She looks pretty damn good. Sometimes I bring these actors back and it's like, oh, maybe they should have left them where they were. But I give them credit. I got the feeling that her and Freddie Prinze probably, you know, like a lot of these actors do, they knew they were going to be in the movie. They got ready for it, and props. Now this is kind of an interesting shot right here, because it looks like we're kind of mirroring the first movie, only they added one person. We're going to have 5 people who caused the accident and not 4. It looks like they're mirroring the first movie once again, because you have the one character in the white dress wearing the tiara. Very reminiscent of Sarah Michelle Gellar, but only this time it looks like instead of them hitting somebody, it looks like they rather ran somebody off the road, the car lost control, and it just went straight through the guardrail and tumbled down to a ditch. Which also makes me wonder, are they going to check the body or they're just going to leave it? Because in the next scene, we see cop cars coming from the other direction, which tells me that more than likely the car went down the hill, it crashed, the person that was in the car probably didn't die, and they're going to be the one who probably comes back to wreak some havoc on the teens. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that Billy Campbell, being the guy who's like a little bit in the same age bracket as Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar, and they're bringing somebody who's somewhat recognizable to this movie from the 90s. My money's on them. I did a little bit of internet research here, and I was curious, what are the odds of them bringing back the original actor who played the fisherman, or his son that was in the sequel?
You'll get it! Will Benson? Ben's son!
Muse Watson is now 75 years old, and I don't think you could possibly bring him back as the main killer. I think you could make him one of the killers. I think he could have like a real grandpa kind of vibe, like think Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can have him in a wheelchair or a rocking chair, and he's like on the boat, and maybe he's giving orders to somebody else. And then I was looking at Matthew Settle, who plays Ben's son, and he's 55 years old, but he hasn't acted since 2017. So, again, more than likely you could bring that character back if you really wanted to. But I don't think they're going to do it. But he's 55 years old. Billy Campbell is 65, right? Which is like, so he's like 10-year difference. What they could do, I think more than likely, he's probably like the older brother of Ben's son. He's Ben's older son. And maybe when he finds out that like his dad and his brother were killed, maybe he's going to be the reason why they come back and do a little bit of carnage. And maybe staying in the same vein of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, maybe he's got a son who's one of these main 5 characters, and it's going to be a father-son dynamic once again. Just my theory, I don't know, but that would make the most sense, right? Because you can't have a 75-year-old fisherman wreaking havoc. I don't buy it. And then you have Jennifer Love Hewitt, and she's just like, I've only got one question for you. What did you do last summer? It's like, well, I went to Greece. I vacationed a little bit. I hung out at the beach a little bit. I got my nails done. The regular. What a dumb question. I know it's trailer bait. I know they did it intentionally. I know it's not her fault. Again, the director is the writer of Thor: Love and Thunder, so right off the bat, I'm going into this with like a negative outlook, but like, my god. Not to mention the movie looks like it was shot for TV. This kind of looks like the Scream TV show to me. Maybe a little bit like the Scream sequels, but it just, from the production stills that I saw recently, it doesn't have that high quality film look that you would want out of a movie. I just saw Sinners last week, probably the best movie that came out of 2025, fantastic film. Ryan Coogler, he did it on like 3 different types of IMAX films, and there's just such an artistry to that. And then when you go straight from that to this, it's like going from like a filet mignon to a White Castle cheeseburger. You're like, yeah, this is also meat, I guess. Alright. And then we got the cliche dumb blonde girl who's just like, this place is so beautiful, I just want to die. I can't stand when girls talk that way, or guys, or anybody who just has that. There's a clip in this TV show that I like that has the guy from Office Space in it called Louder Milk. And he goes, and you've probably seen it because like it's a meme, it's a reel on Instagram, it's always popping up. And he goes into a coffee shop and it's just like, why do you talk that way? He's like, this is the way I talk. And he's like, no, it's not. He's like, the only people who talk that way are rich people and people that, whatever. And he's like, and because you're in a coffee shop, I know you're not rich, and I know, so just stop. And she's just like, F you! And he's like, see? That's your voice. That's exactly the sentiment I have watching that character. I'm like, I know she's going to be the dumb blonde, stereotypical. She'll be the one who's killed off when she's doing the same move that Sarah Michelle Gellar was doing, pulling on the rope to go up the little lift while the fisherman is swinging below. And that's the trailer, guys. It comes out July 18th. I will be there on opening day. I will be there if there's like a press release and I get invited to it, which I probably will. I'm going to go see that. I'm excited for it, I don't know why they're waiting until after the 4th of July, but okay, fair enough. Right? I mean, what's coming out on the 4th of July that they're like, nope, can't compete with that. In my opinion, I would put it out a week before the 4th of July, get some buzz going, people are going to go see it, and then, you're going to have those people that are like, let's go see it on the 4th of July, because, I don't know. And so you might get like a back-to-back kind of weekend thing. Putting it out after just seems like a misfire to me, but that's just me. I'm watching that scene where that guy gets harpooned, and I'm just like, my brother, move. Take a step to the left, take a step to the right. A harpoon is, I could be wrong, but it feels like something that you could easily dodge kind of easily. But staying on positives, because I am excited for this movie. Sticking to the positives, Julia James and Ray, they look great. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt, they look great. I'm glad they're back. I hope they get as much possible screen time as possible. I hope they're not kind of cut down where, you know, we wait until like the third act. They probably are, because they watched Scream and they said, let's just do that. I really hope Julia James is in the majority of the film. Same with Ray. Because I kind of don't, I'm not excited for these characters, man. I'm not. Like, they look like Instagram influencers. They look like they're trying to appeal to a certain demographic based on some checklist that they had at a studio of, we need to appeal to the young people. The old people are going to show up anyway because they have nostalgia for it. We need to appeal to the younger people. But I think the movie Sinners has proved to us that we don't want characters that look like they're on Instagram all day or on their phones all day or kind of just like socially inept. We want real people. There's a reason why the classics are so beloved by audience members and why these movies carry on through the years. So, you know, again, it's probably going to be the third best in the franchise, beating out Part 3, but probably being like either second or even to I Still Know. I think I Still Know is still going to be remembered more fondly just because A, nostalgia, B, Jack Black. Who's awful in the movie. He's got dreadlocks and he's like, hey, my brothers, hey, smoking the ganja, and he just gets killed right away. It's most people will tell you he's awful, and he is, but I like trash. I like watching schlock, which is probably why I'm going to watch this movie. You know what I'd really love to see? Now that we have Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard coming back for the next Scream movie, and we got Freddie Prinze Jr. coming back for this, I think it would be great because Matthew Lillard wants to do this. He wants to get the Scooby Gang back, and he wants to do like an R-rated James Gunn Scooby-Doo mystery. That would be fantastic. And if the best thing that comes out of this is that they make that movie, while also maybe releasing like a 4K release steelbook of the original movie, because that's always what they do, then I think it'll be worth it. And I think, you know what? I think there will be some glimmering great kills in this movie, but I just don't think it's gonna be amazing. I have a lot of reservations. Maybe a second trailer might impress me more, but based on this, I find it highly underwhelming. But I will be there. I will pay $18 to go see it. Because morbid curiosity, I want to know and I want to support the actors from the original and just be part of the conversation. And I am intrigued by what they do with it. I'm gonna be there on day one. I'm excited for it. I just don't think it's going to be amazing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I also have a side-by-side video of the original trailer and the new trailer. That one's going to be demonetized as hell. So if you could, pretty please with sugar on top, give this video a thumbs up, a like, a share, subscribe. You know all that business. It really does help the channel a lot. And I will see you next time.